just got our dash back from Instrument Specialties. Wait a minute, that's not a dash at all. That's you guys. Better stay tuned to tonight's episode or you're going to miss some good stuff. It's the fans.
This time on Graveyard Carz. After test firing an engine for the 1971 Cuda convertible, Mark and Dougie take a road trip to Boring, Oregon to look at a new restoration project.
Wow, look at that.
And when it turns out to be an unusually well-preserved muscle car, Mark must work outside his comfort zone to try to wheel and deal.
I don't think I can give you everything you're asking for.
The unburied dead. The unburied dead are coming back to life. Coming back to life.
Self-proclaimed Mopar master Mark Warman and his protege painter Will Scott get paid to bring Mopar muscle cars back from the dead. They work with Mark's daughter Alyssa and his cousin Dougie. They're willing to travel anywhere to retrieve a customer's car, detailing how it lived its life and how it died. After that, they bring it back to make it look just like it did the day it was born. Curious George is installing the trunk floor pan in a 1 of 350 1970 GTX 444 speed.
Now I'm going to slide the trunk floor in place. I've already prepped out the bottom, put on the brackets. Because I sectioned it, I'm able to leave everything together, like the rear body panel, the lights are still in, the wheel tubs, the trunk extension still in place. Makes my job way easier. Today we're working on a 1970 GTX. It is a very rare car for the case of most of the cars I get in the shop are rusted, the metal's gone, it's garbage. I put a ton of time into them. This car, I only have to replace the trunk floor. I've already cut out the trunk floor as you see, and I drilled out most of the welds, and I've cut out my new piece so I can put it in the placement. This is my brand new floor, the rest of it right here, and here's my old trunk floor. I went through already and I prepped out the rails. I put some undercoating so they will not rust in the future after I put the new floor in. My trunk extensions are beautiful. My reinforcement's beautiful. This is a very nice car. Honestly, it's a major win for me because the less time I have to put into this car. It's like a glove. Clamp down here. All right, now I'm gonna pull down the rest of the floor and I'm going to lock it into place to the wheel tubs. I'm doing all this so I know that it's exactly where I want it. It's right where the manufacturer put it the very first time. And it makes my job a lot easier. All right, that should do it. Now that I've got all of that in place, I'm gonna go through and start putting some set screws in place to hold the rest of the trunk floor in place. Now, with me putting all the set screws in place, I'm fairly confident this is exactly where I want it. So now I can proceed on to start to welding it in place. All my gaps look good, everything lines up. As you can see, the trunk extension matches the trunk height. That's a very important thing. All the pre-holes that I drilled for my plug welds that I'm gonna do on the frame rail, they're exactly where I want them. So the next part is just to weld it in place.
I just finished up tacking the whole entire floor in place, so my floor's got less chance of moving around. Now I'm gonna do a type of welding that's called stitch welding. It's where I hit every tack little by little so I don't overheat the thin metal, warp it, or blow the metal out. It gives me a better strength for when I go to grind it down and a good clean finish.
Finally come. I didn't say so, I said duh. No, rewind the footage. So the day has finally come. The day is finally here. We are finally getting ready to shoot our gorgeous EV2 Dodge Daytona.
This Daytona has been with Graveyard Carz for several years. The owner opted for a full restoration, despite the Daytona being in great condition for its age. A while back, Dougie disassembled the car and it was sent off to the metal shop. The last time we checked in on the Daytona, Will had finished the primer, and now it's ready for its pre-paint.
It's in the booth, it's ready to go. This is our pre-paint, we're getting ready to start. It's going EV2 is the information, Hemi orange. It was a great survivor car. If this was my car, I would have not restored it, but it's not my car.
Our 1971 Cuda convertible, 340, 3-speed manual transmission. It is in the assembly shop waiting to go together. One of the first things that we're gonna do is get it mobile. To get it mobile, we need that 340 that Cousin Dougie's standing over the top of right now running.
The 1971 Cuda 340 convertible has also been at the graveyard for a few years. So far, it's received extensive body work. Despite its condition, this is a super rare and desirable numbers-matching car. When it's all said and done, this car will be FC7 in violet, with white bucket seats and a matching convertible top, making it the only one like it to leave Graveyard Carz, and possibly Hamtramck, Michigan.
This is exciting. It's our first fire up, right, Cousin Dougie?
Yeah.
Yeah, Cousin Dougie, my friend. He had a 340 and a little 70 Barracuda. Couldn't wait to blow it up. He blew up 2 318s, 2 340s. You retired more engines than the EPA.
Yeah.
Man, that guy was on it. Anyway, Dougie, are you ready to fire that bad boy up?
I am.
How many cubic inches is it?
340 cubic inches.
That's right. What year is it?
71.
And what's it going in?
71 Cuda.
Right on.
Convertible, right?
You got it. And 4-speed, pistol grip 4-speed?
That might be a 3-speed.
It's a 3-speed. My boy
Yeah.
ain't getting nothing past it. You're fresh in from up there, ain't you?
Uh-huh.
Oh, please keep him with me long enough to run the engine. Okay, we're ready to go.
Okay, the very next step in putting the car back together is welding the taillight panel to the trunk floor. When I took this apart, I took it apart very carefully so I didn't mess up any of the other metal and destroy it and have to replace it. By doing that, I'm able to use my spot welder from AIM, and it'll give it that OEM look again. And what the spot welder does here is it fuses the two metals together, giving it a nice clean finish. And as long as I hit the original spot weld marks from where the factory put them, it all looks original. She is a heavy beast, but it gets the job done and the panels stay together permanently. Now this is the very last step that I have to do on the car before it is complete and able to go over to mud. So this is a really good feeling when you're at the very end of the race and you get to see all the success and it all pays off. It's nice to have a car that you didn't have to put a month into, 2 months into. It's a good feeling. Now, ladies and gentlemen, that is it. This car is finished and ready to go over to mud.
Meanwhile, Will is ready to apply the first coat of Hemi Orange to the 1970 Daytona Charger.
The car was really clean when it came back from the dipper. We just had a couple little things to address. Yeah, it was just, now that thinking back on it, was just solid from the get-go. So once it was all bare metal, went through, touched up a couple little rust spots, got it out to the Bondo room. Car went through there in 2 weeks, done, no problem. Primed it, blocked it, primed it, blocked it. Now here we are ready for the pre-paint.
Are you ready to fire it up?
Yes.
Just so everybody knows, this engine has never been ran. It probably won't run now. But what we do is real at Graveyard Carz. You don't get it all fired up and everything, and then we bring the cameras in and say, oh, look how great we are. Whatever mistakes we have, it's what we have. If it starts up, we got lucky. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Why don't we turn some ignition on?
Okay, we have lights.
Have you give it, let's just see if it cranks over like it's supposed to.
Okay.
Is it in gear or in neutral?
Should be a neutral.
Okay.
Unless
Did you already
somebody-
fill the gearbox?
Somebody's been, no, it's in neutral.
Okay.
And I filled the gearbox.
Stay tuned. Will begins the jamming and paint prep for a 1970 CUDA 340 that's going Panther pink. And Mark takes a road trip to Boring, Oregon to purchase a new restoration that may turn out to be a diamond in the rough.
Now that's about as pure as I've seen one. I gotta see this thing outside.
Back in 1970, all you had to do was sit inside a Challenger RT to know that it meant business. Gauges for everything you could think of, and more room for passengers than any other pony car of the time. The standard engine was a 335 horsepower, 383 4-barrel Magnum, hooked up with a full synchronized 3-speed stick and 470/14 white raised letter tires. Optionally, if you were a performance nut, you could get the 440 Magnum 440 6-pack or the 426 Hemi. Over the years, due to their low production numbers as well as their low survivability, any Challenger has become worth a substantial amount of money, making the 1970 Challenger RT our corpse of the week.
Should be a neutral.
Okay.
Unless
Did you already
somebody-
fill the gearbox?
Somebody's been, no, it's in neutral.
Okay.
And I filled the gearbox.
Okay, it cranks over.
Oh.
What do you think? Coil power? And fuel?
I haven't primed it yet.
I know.
Well, do you want me to prime it first?
That's what I meant by fuel.
Okay, you want me to prime it?
They traded him out. All I wanted was 5 minutes. Coil power. Turn it off while you prime it. Go ahead and prime it, Cousin Dougie.
Thank you, Mark.
This is Mork from Mork. Mark from Mark. You fruitcake. Okay, coil power. Let's just see what happens. I've never had one start in my entire life.
Neither have I.
Never. But you hated it. I cannot believe that actually started.
I can't either. More primer fuel?
Yes.
Maybe it likes fuel.
That's weird.
Yeah, it is.
That means it's gonna explode and blow one of my kneecaps off.
Everybody stand back.
To the oil pressure. Good. Good, huh? Remember that one? Big Jagger. Start me up. Did it have a dance?
No.
Dance nothing. All with your hands. Use the seat. Then you go in here like this. Different moves. The high step, like the Jagger. Slide into the seat. Robo hand. Smoking good. Smoking. Sounds awful good.
Yeah.
Get low.
I'm getting back.
I'm gonna button it up. Okay, it's been run long enough now to break in the cam. We have 0 leaks. Good job.
Yeah.
Come on in. Come
Oh,
on
hi.
in, Dougie. Yeah, hey.
Hi, Mark.
This is Cousin Dougie. He works on engines with me. He's from another planet, another solar system. So anyway, he's a good mechanic. Up there, they got him working on all the spaceships. He has a dog named Astro.
Spec.
No, Astro.
Astro, that's right.
Yeah. He got a little treadmill. Him and Astro run together on the treadmill. It's kind of fun. Got that new microwave setup up there and all that.
Yeah,
Right?
a new one.
Well, while he's here, he's working on Mopars. He did a good job. Now that we got it running and we know we're out of the woods, we'll shut it off, let it cool down, move it inside, get it put back over on an install cart. Now we can install the drivetrain in our CUDA. Tell everybody how happy you are right now.
I am stoked.
Look at that camera right there. Tell
That camera right there?
Yeah, tell.
Hi, camera. I am stoked.
He's chased a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, why are you crazy?
What? Oh, boy. Oh, bye.
Still doing interviews. Hi, Doug.
Bye, Mark.
Good job. You got it. I'm going to go inside and let everybody know that we are ready to install a drivetrain. That's going to be cool. I cannot wait to see that car. I've never seen a real FC7N Violet convertible with a white top, white interior. And I've certainly never seen one with a 3-speed and a 340. All right.
Yeah.
I call this the walk out of frame.
That's crazy. It's crazy. I call this the walk out of frame.
Yeah, yours is an idiot. All right, let's go get something to eat. All right, so Doug and I took off early this morning from our beautiful town of Springfield, Oregon, and we just landed in Boring, Oregon. Believe it or not, there is a Boring, Oregon. That's its title. A few days ago, I got a phone call from a gentleman named Bob, and when we were talking, he says he's got a 71 Dodge Super Bee, that he had bought brand new when he was in the service, when he was in the Navy. Still has it today. Had some blemishes on it because apparently a barn had fallen in on it. That's okay, it happens. And so we're here to look at the car today and see if it's something we want to buy and bring back to Graveyard Cars and bring back to life. So, are you ready?
Uh-huh.
Let's go check it out. That looks like Super B Bob.
Oh, how you doing?
Good, Bob, how are you?
Okay.
Well, you gave us a good day to come up, my friend.
Well, my name's Bob. I bought the Super B when I was in the Navy in 1971. And it's been a good car. I got only 29,000 miles on it. Well, I started driving a truck for a living, and I didn't have time to drive the car. I called up Mark at Graveyard Cars and told him about it. He said, well, I'll come up and look at it. So here we are. How you doing, Mark?
Nice to meet you. This is Cousin Dougie.
Hi, Dougie.
Good morning, Bob.
How's it going?
Going good.
Good.
Yeah, what a beautiful day.
Yeah.
Super B Bob,
What
huh?
are you doing hiding out in boring Oregon?
Oh, just found this place and moved out of Gresham and came over here.
You were in Gresham before?
Yeah.
It's a neat little town. Pretty small still, though.
Right.
So you bought a 71 Super B, brand new when you were in the service.
Right. I was in the Navy.
Oh my gosh.
Bought it over in Italy. And they had it made in Detroit and then shipped down to Indianapolis. Went up, picked it up in Indianapolis.
Oh my gosh, and here it is in Boring, Oregon.
Yeah.
I see you got an old Ford in front of what looks to be the trunk lid of a Super B.
Yeah.
What do you think about having a look?
Okay.
I'm excited. This is
Yeah.
awesome, actually.
Yeah.
You don't get that call very often. Hey, I got a 71 Super B I brought brand new and I want to sell it.
Yeah.
You just don't, I mean, if you do, they're usually restored cars or something. and,
Right.
you know, I don't do that because I do the restoration.
Right.
So let's go look. What's the easiest way through? This way here?
This way.
Okay, I see a green car in there.
Yeah, it's right back.
And I see an orange pickup. That's yours too.
Uh-huh. Yep.
All right. Wow, look at that. Holy cow. You aren't kidding. That's a pretty original little car. Look at that, Rooster.
Oh, wow.
Look at that. God, how long's it been parked?
Well, since 91 here.
And that's the big damage from the falling timber, huh?
Right.
Oh, boy.
Roughly.
You like that pistol grip, Rooster?
I like that.
That looks good.
4-speed, huh?
Do you think this is original paint on here?
Mm-hmm. Yes, original paint.
Wow. God, if it wasn't for that roof, this thing would probably polish up like new.
Yeah, it would.
Wow, look at that. Look at that 4-speed in there, Doug. Take a look.
Oh, my goodness.
Your
I
favorite
love
thing.
We learned in the Corpse of the Week that a 1970 Challenger RT came standard with a 383 4-barrel, 3-speed stick, and 470 14 white raised leather tires. How many seconds would it take to race the quarter mile with a standard equipped 1970 Challenger RT? 16 seconds, 14 seconds, 21 seconds. Find out after the break. So, in a 1970 Challenger RT with a 383 4-barrel, 3-speed stick, and 470 14 white raised leather tires, how fast could you race the quarter mile? The answer is 14 seconds. And if you were an experienced driver and upgraded that 1970 Challenger RT to a 440 6-pack, you could do a quarter in the 13s.
Wow, look at that. Look at that 4-speed in there, Doug. Take a look.
Oh, my goodness.
Your
I
favorite
love
thing.
it.
Yeah.
I love it.
That's the 71 B-body non-console shift. That's a rare little shifter right there. I don't see a lot of frills. No air conditioning, no power windows.
So I bought this 1971 Super B in Naples, Italy, and I got back to ship and I said, what the hell did I do? But, you know, I enjoyed it. You know, got the girls and stuff back in. Other than that, Yeah, I just want somebody to restore it. I just want to take it to the junkyard, you know. But that's the way it is.
Interior's pretty nice, huh?
It's amazing.
Seats are all
29,000
intact.
original miles. Unbelievable. Original trunk mat, spare tire, original jack. Those are the two beauty rings that are missing on the flat side here.
Mm-hmm.
That's the kind of DNA you can't fake. It is what it is. These have been replaced, but that spares an original white wall. I hate to ask this, Bob, but I like the car, and I'd like to probably talk with you about buying it. But can we get it outside so I could see it a little better?
Oh, yeah.
If I put air in the tires, we brought an air tank with us.
Oh, okay. That sounds good.
Look at that. Ooh. Now that's about as pure as I've seen one. Original clips in place that hold all the underhood wiring. Date-coded voltage regulator, original ballast resistor, wiper motor, Pi 10 383 Magnum. Even has the assembly line marking on the driver's side valve cover. And it looks like it has it on the passenger side. Might have had spark plug wires. You do spark plug wires sometime in its life?
Yeah.
Yep. Original torsion clamps holding all the heater hoses, radiator hoses in place. I gotta see this thing outside. I gotta see it.
George finished up the metal and bodywork on a 1970 340 CUDA. Now it's off to Will to get its first coat of paint.
This is the first time we've done the FM3 Panther Pink. Gorgeous color, super excited about it. Anytime you get a new color in here, it's awesome. The unfortunate thing is we're not actually putting the car together. We're just doing the body and paint, so that does kind of suck. So I got the fender in the booth here. It's all buffed out. This is the only sample we have of this color here out of all of our cars. So now we're gonna head into the reference room, print out our label, come back out, mix it up, and start doing spray outs to see how close the color is. Okay, so right now we are going to start mixing up our FM3 Panther Pink Moulin Rouge. So we type in the FM3. There it comes right up. Moulin Rouge or Panther Pink. One's Plymouth, one's Dodge. Gives you your paint code. Type in the amount that you want. So right there's everything that's in the color. And the only thing we have left to do is print label. Gives us our label and exactly what it takes to make this color. This is one of my favorite colors. We haven't done it yet, so I'm super excited about this car. We're only doing the body and paint. It'd be cool to assemble this whole car, but at least we're doing this color. We have the color decks here that Mark ordered, which he spent a lot of money to get. They just come in handy on times like this. So we got 1970 Dodge, and then there's our Panther Pink. So we'll take this outside when we do our spray out. We have a fender set up so we can check it the color to that, but then we also have a nice original swatch here to go off of. So we'll take this out there with us. We have our code, so we will mix it up and see what we got.
Meanwhile, Mark and Dougie decide to push their potential purchase out under the sun to shed some light on anything that could be hiding out of plain sight. Still to come, Will matches the correct Panther Pink for the 1970 CUDA 340.
You can see that it needs to be a little darker.
And Mark finally decides if he's going to buy the car,
I also don't want to go back home empty-handed.
forcing him to channel his inner Mike Brewer to wheel and deal.
But with the roof like that, it's got to be addressed. It just can't be ignored.
Okay, so we have our formula that we printed up earlier right here, so we're good to go. We got our scale, our cup up there. These are the 4 toners that go in this. So it's actually not a very complicated mix, or even to tint the color if it's off, it's gonna be fairly basic. For this color, we're starting with 1679. It's just a red. Make sure you're zeroed out here on the scale. It takes 202.1 parts of that. So our next color is 1692, which is also a red. It takes 171.1 parts of this. All right, we got that one done. So now it takes the white and it's 91.2. There's our white. And then the last one is a 1609, which is a violet. And it takes 34.2 of that. It's 34.2. So all of our toners are in here now. So basically, we'll just stir this up and then go onto our spray out. All right, so now that we got our paint mixed up perfectly, I'll spray it out, get on a nice one of these spray out cards here. Once that dries, we'll compare it to the fender that we have out there and see if our color is good or if it needs to be tinted.
Back in Boring, Oregon, Mark fills up the tires to push the car out in the sunlight and get a better look at what it has to offer.
So right now, Doug and Bob are inside getting the Ford truck ready to move out. First thoughts on the car is it's really clean, original car. I'm really impressed with the fact that it's all original paint, that it's a 4-speed car. I mean, that's a good demographic. It sucks about the roof. If that roof wasn't like that, that car could be made into a driver really easy and be a nice driver, right? 29,000 miles. But with the roof, you have to address it. You can't just bump it out or rough it out or say, oh, I'm gonna jack it up and it'll look okay. You gotta fix the roof. That ought to work. Hate it. Doesn't look like it was ever wrecked.
No.
Never stuffed in anything. I saw a dent on the quarter. It looks like just a glancing blow of somebody.
Right.
Manual steering and manual brakes. That's another $2,000 down. Gosh, it just keeps getting worse by the minute. 13th Naval District. Now I'm going to get you back up because of your decal and your service to our country. I'm going to go back up another 1,000.
Okay.
But I'm not done looking yet.
We learned in the Corpse of the Week that the 1970 Challenger wasn't produced in large quantities, and very few have survived over the years. True or false? More 1973 Challengers were sold than any previous year. Find out after the break. Dodge sold more 1973 Challengers than any previous year. Was it true or false? It's true. Even though sales dropped significantly after 1970, they picked back up in 1973. But production ceased midway through 1974. Over 165,000 Challengers were sold during this generation.
Did you have mufflers put on it at some point?
Yes, I think I did.
Yeah. Original owner's manual. Look at that original warranty card. Your social security number was 2. How old are you? Where'd you find this at?
Oh.
Broadcast sheet.
Was
it in this?
Yeah.
See, I've never seen him actually give one in the car.
So where we left off, we were getting ready to do the spray outs. I've already done them because it does take time for the clear coat to dry. So these have sat for a couple hours. And it's what I did was to kind of give you guys an explanation, like make it a little bit clearer on where we're at with all this. Right here we have the standard. This is straight out of the can, mixed up, ready to go. Hasn't been tinted or anything. So if you take this up to your fender you can see that it needs to be a little darker, not much, just a little bit darker and a little more purple. So because we've been doing this for so long, we already know, what it needs. So I went ahead and did a second spray out, and it has a purple in it. It needed to be, just like I said, a hair darker, a little more purple, not too much. I put a few drops of that, and then we got a pretty good match. The pink that's on the fender is really, really thin. So if you really look into it, you can kind of see it's transparent underneath there. So I could make this darker to match, but I know it wouldn't be quite factory. So I just darkened it up just a little bit, kind of split the difference between what this fender is and what I had on the original to come up with the correct color. So we also had 2 reds in there. Like I said, we've been doing this a long time, so we know it doesn't need it. But just to show you guys at home, if you pick the wrong color, you really need to pay attention to what you're doing. Because this one, I added just a little bit of red to, and it totally changes it the wrong way. And then here's the last one. We didn't add any white to it and spray that out because obviously when it's pink and you put white in, it's not even worth doing. It's just really gonna milk it out. But that's what with the other red added to it. So then when you take the 2 that we have, this is our original, and then this is the one we're gonna go with. It darkened it up a little bit, but not too much. So then now that we have all that done, I will order the paint, tell them exactly what I did to make that right. Then they'll send me a few gallons of the color. They'll tint it themselves, so when I get it, it's ready to go. But at this point, we can go ahead and start doing all of our jam work and getting our parts and pieces done, so that way the body man can install it.
The broadcast sheets are usually located like in the back seat, in the springs of the back seat. They'll usually have character marks down through here from the springs of the seats. That's beautiful. That's a really clean one. They're so fragile too. Gosh, you gotta be careful with them. So I think that's awesome. That's cool. Well, Bob, I'd like to have the old car.
Okay.
That's the good news. The bad news is I don't think I can give you everything you're asking for.
Whoa.
I know. It's crazy talk. I don't think we're miles apart.
Hope not.
But I think we're
to find you.
But I also don't want to go back home empty-handed.
Okay.
So here in front of me, we have our quarter panels for our 1970 CUDA. And we like to do all the undercoating while they're off the car because once they're on the car, you can't go past the wheel wells to undercoat it or do any more paint work. So this way we're able to mask off the area that needs to be masked off and then undercoat the whole entire thing. Once that's done, we'll unmask this and then we'll paint the whole thing pink. So when George goes to install this, it's just a quality job and it's that much cleaner when it's done. So for this, we use a fuser product, which is a sprayable seam sealer. So it just kind of goes into our gun, lays out just nice. It just needs time to dry. If you top coat it too soon, it won't actually dry. It says you can go right back over it, but just to be safe, I like to give it 24 hours. So when I come back tomorrow, it's really hardened up and then we're good to go from that point forward.
If you'll let me load it up for $5,000, I'll buy it right now. If you can't let it go for $5,000, I'll help you push it back inside.
How about 6?
You meet me at 55 just because of my big old dumb heart falling out all over the place. Things cost me more money than not. Lord have mercy on a country boy.
They get
You know what I'm
10%
saying,
of what
Dougie?
you're selling it for?
What? Well, you could just give it to me and I'll give you 10% of what I sell it for. Oh. You go in and fix that roof. You're going to put another roof on is what you're going to do. You're going to end up into both quarter panels. So now when I'm done, even if I tried to be as careful as possible, I'm going to end up painting the roof, both quarter panels, and they'll probably not match the door, so I'd end up blending into the door. So next thing you know, you painted the whole car. No, that's the problem. Look, if it wasn't the roof, then it's a good, original, low-mile car. This car could be cleaned up, get it running, get the brakes all working on it with that original paint, if the roof wasn't like that, and I think you'd get 15 grand.
Well, let me go get a hammer.
But with the roof like that, it's got to be addressed. It just can't be ignored. And as soon as you do, you see how there's no brake here?
Right.
You're painting the whole back half of the car. Now it's not an original paint car, so there goes some of its intrinsic value in being an original paint car.
Yeah.
Those are my thoughts on it. But do I think you could take your time, clean it up, try to get it running and put it on eBay and do better? Yes, I do think you could do that. I hope you don't do that, but I think you could do that. What do you say, Bobby? Got a title of this old girl?
Yeah.
Good, I like the sound of that.
We don't even have to get it notarized, do we?
No, not in Oregon.
Right.
Yeah, you can just hand. Is it the original title?
Right, yeah.
Oh, hell, it just went up again, didn't it?
Yeah.
It's the original title. That's paperwork, man.
Yeah.
You have to at least get some more peanuts for that. I got peanuts in there. Okay, you brought the peanuts, but it doesn't matter who brought the peanuts.
Yeah.
Push her in or tow her home. What do you want to do, boss?
Yeah, I like to see it get restored and everything. So I'll take the 55 and a jacket.
I didn't bring one, but I will be happy to send you one.
Okay, send me a jacket.
Now, this is a Moon Ice, so you can't have one like that. I only got one, but you want a Graveyard Carz jacket.
Right.
An extra large. Mm-hmm. I will do that for you.
Okay.
Okay. Give me a handshaker. Go in there, huh? All right, let's load this mother bear up. What do you think? You want to get the title? I'll go get the cash. You guys start loading this car up. Sound good?
Yeah.
All right.
Sounds good.
Well, I can tell you somebody's going to have a nice car someday. They're going to have to step up and have it restored, but I think that's a good one to do. I think that's a good one to do. Rooster. Burning daylight. Yeah. Right. Let's not stop for any mannequins or anything. Bye, Bobby! Bye-bye.